this is going to be kind of the... It's kind of going to be a part that's going to be attached at some point. But I'm just covering because, unfortunately and embarrassingly, I cannot find my Return of Superman book. I know I have it somewhere, but I'll go ahead and show you guys what the front cover may look like in case you guys ever want to go to a comic book shop and look this up. Now, what I'm showing you here is one that's currently in the mail and it's coming. And this is what the front cover of World Without Superman looks like. Now, it's not completely like the graphic novel, you know, that they're selling in comic book shops, but it's pretty close. Now, this is it right here. And then let me type in. Let me actually. You know what? Let me actually. Give me a minute here. This is basically, this is what it looks like on its set, to cut all this out and just have Superman and a backdrop, and that's pretty much what this will look like. Anyway, get this to the review. Get on to the review, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it and enjoy kind of my thoughts on it, and also, you know, learn a little bit of the history of why this is one of my favorite storylines in DC. Aside from Nightfall, of course, but Monster's doing Nightfall, so I'll do Doomsday. Since he is the proverbial Batman and I am the proverbial Superman. Wow, I can't believe I just made that comparison. Alright, on to the review. Oh, okay, let me get up here. Whoa, okay. Alright. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear me and see me. Well, you can see me, but I don't know if you'll be able to hear me. Try not to project too much, because people are taking naps in my house, but... Anyway, guys, the day is fun. Today is the day. Well, not really today is the day, but... You get what I'm saying. You know, it's time for me to talk about Superman Doomsday, or at least a first part of it. Now, I have a couple of things. I do have my Death of Superman novel, and I'm going to talk about that as I'm holding this. I've got the Superman Doomsday movie, and I'm going to explain a lot of the things that they took from the comics that they did well, and stuff that they added in there that wasn't even part of the storyline, and talk about the vast differences. But a little bit of product placement. I also brought with me, to describe certain events, my handy dandy Superman encyclopedia. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, get this, the one with Batman and the one with Wonder Woman. Not only will you have DC's Holy Trinity, but these encyclopedias are full with literally character biographies, environment stuff, everything. Even characters that only appeared or made a cameo in like one or two issues of a comic, they're pretty much, their whole backstory is in here. These books are like insanely, they're insanely and retardedly incredible. You know, they're about like $30 or $40. But you know what? Well worth the price though, because there's a ton of information in these things. But I'll talk about that another time. Now, Superman, when you think, what's the first thing that pops into your mind when you think of Superman? The Man of Steel, the last son of Krypton, the hero of Metropolis, the leader of the Justice League. Let's see, a guy who is practically unstoppable. The only thing that can weaken him is kryptonite. He's faced, you know, the likes of, he has faced the likes of like Mongol of Warworld and Darkseid, the dictatorish ruler of Apocalypse. Superman is pretty much a character that has done everything and literally embodies everything. everything that is good and pure that people want to aspire to. He is the measuring stick from which other heroes in the DC universe want to become. And he is looked up to by a lot of people. Even Batman, as dark and brooding as he is, admits that Superman has an aura about him that just, you know, you stand at attention when he speaks, and that, you know, he can calm even, you know, the angriest of people, and if not, then he excuse me, he can put you down. Now, excuse me. What is there to really say about Superman that hasn't been said or hasn't been shown in comics? You know, I'm not going to explain that because all I would do is be talking about cliche stuff. But Superman is a character that inspired, you know, Stan Lee to create like Spider-Man and the Hulk and all these other characters. He's in a sense, when you look at the Man of Steel, this is the guy who basically ushered in the era of like modern day superheroes. And what's great about Superman, at least to me, is just his overall being. Just what is, like I said, what is there to really say about Superman that hasn't been said before? And I mean, he's one of the few like literary characters, aside from say like the likes of Sherlock Holmes, that's been featured in radio shows, that has had numerous books that have sold. He's had his own live-action movies. He's had his own cartoons, his own animated movies. Superman is a character that you can put in any setting and he works. He's one of the few characters that genuinely works in that sense. And you know, he's an unstoppable juggernaut. Nobody could stop him. Well, around like, I would say in the early 90s, like 94, 95, someone can correct me on the exact date, Superman would face his greatest challenge yet. A foe that was nearly as powerful but was even more brutal and savage than the practitioner of the Omega Beam's Darkseid. And that villain is Doomsday. And I'm going to read from this excerpt here and explain to you guys why he actually, what the definition of Doomsday is. And if you will give me a moment. And of course I'm just reading for just had to read a little bit of Darkseid just because, you know, I mean, come on, it's Darkseid. Not really much that you can say about Darkseid that hasn't been talked about before. Now, let's see. Here we go. Here's what it says by definition according to the Superman Encyclopedia. It says Doomsday is a monstrous synthetic life form originally called the Ultimate by its creator. And it killed it was basically before humanoid life evolved naturally on Krypton. The planet was a hellacious inhabitable place inhabited only by furious monstrosities. It's believed that the most dangerous of the universe and abnormal alien scientists visiting the planet conducted experiments designed to create an ultimate life form that could survive all attacks, and in the process carefully study the concept of survival of the fittest and how organisms adapt to changes in their environment in order to survive.